What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome to the ugly truth about real estate investing. I had to do a video for you guys today because I had a very good morning this morning. I had a problem that I've had for probably 15 years now has gotten resolved, and I wanted to tell you guys about it because this literally goes back 15 years, and then it's finally got resolved this morning. So I had a letter come to me that was from the Portsmouth Circuit Court. And I didn't know exactly what it was. First off, it was made out to my name, which was odd because I don't own anything in my name. And so I get court things from time to time for a falling gutter or some paint, but I don't own anything in my own name. So I thought that was odd. And it's in circuit court. And it basically just said I had to show up today for a hearing at March 6th, 2020 at 10 a.m. So I show up this morning and really had no idea what I was even going for until I got there. And ended up being an absolutely fantastic morning. So I want to start off by taking you back, goes back to like 2001, 2002, where it first started. So back in, I think it was 2001 when it very first started, and this is why it was in my name and not a company name. I don't believe I used LLCs back then. I was doing things in my own name. I purchased a property in Portsmouth. How you doing, Eva? I purchased a property in Portsmouth, and this was at 1908 Maple Drive in Portsmouth. And when I bought it, the guy gave me the lot next to it, which was 1912 Maple Avenue in Portsmouth. I had the property for a couple of years as a rental, and then the market started heating up. And so I renovated it and sold it. Now, my mistake, and I always blame the lawyer, but in reality, it was my mistake. When we sold the house, I never did a separate contract or deeded that lot separate, 1912. Even though 1912 Maple was really a fenced-in side yard for 1908 Maple, I never deeded it to them. So I sold 1908 Maple, and the lady I sold it to, she renovated it, and she put a tenant in there, and I would get the bill for 1912 Maple, and I would mail it to her. I call her and say, "Oh, this isn't switched into your name," and so she paid the tax bill every couple months or every quarter, every twice a year, whenever we got it. And there was no worries on it. She kept saying, I send it to my lawyer. My lawyer's working on switching the lot into my name. And that was the plan. And so it went on probably she never thought about it until every time I'd send her a tax bill. So a year and a half go by. And she's telling me, oh, my lawyer's working on it. We're going to get it done. Well, then she gets foreclosed on. So now I own the side yard to this house, 1912 Maple. And now she got foreclosed on 1908 Maple. So now a bank owns it. So now I'm stuck and I own this side yard. It's deeded separate and I have no one to give it to. I call the agent that was doing the REO sale and they're like, sorry, nothing I can do for you. I call everybody. I call the city. Everybody's like, sorry, you own it. So I more or less ignore it. I own this thing. It's useless. It's a side lot to another house. Well, fast forward now over the years. Now this started probably in 2005 or 6 from the time that foreclosure happened. Over the years, I want to say 6 months, a year, I'll get a violation letter from the city. They'll say, oh, somebody put tires in front of your lot. They'll call them, they'll send me a violation and I'll call them and I'll say, I don't own that lot. And they'll be like, yeah, you do. It's still deeded in your name. So technically I still owned it. And it was and the taxes are accruing. The taxes are getting bigger and bigger because I'm not paying them. I'm like, no, this is not mine. This is the side lot to this house. So the taxes are accruing and they're getting violations. They'll call me and say, oh, there's garbage or there's debris dumped in front of your property. And I remember one girl on the phone, and I remember her name was Jacqueline something or other. She was one of the inspectors in Portsmouth. And I was even joking with her. And I said, I'm just going to deed the property over to you. And she was like, no, don't do that. So anyway, so this has gone on. When I tell you for years, we're talking 15 years I've been dealing with this headache. Couldn't get rid of it. I'm trying to find someone to give it to and nobody would take it. Several times over the years, it's come up for auction. And so I'm like, okay, finally it's done. Now, let me tell you the burden with that. The burden with it coming up for auction is friends. It's in my name. This is titled to Scott Jelinek. Friends and people I do business with, they all research in the auction, same as I do. So I'm getting phone calls from people. Hey, Scott, I see you have a property in auction. Is everything okay? Or other people, people I'm doing business with say, hey, just in case you missed it, you might have missed taxes owed on something. And one of your houses is going up for auction, even though it's not a house there. It's just a lot. So it was really a pain in the ass. So every time somebody would call me, I had to go through the whole story, tell them all the way back 15 years worth of crap that's happened to get us to this point. So then it would go to auction and it would never sell. And when it doesn't sell, what does the city do? They don't want it. So they're like, nope, they just leave it right where it is because no one would buy it because it's useless. It's the side lot to another house. It's a side yard. So fast forward, this has been going on and been a headache, a thorn in my side now for 15 years. Eva, I see you say you'll take it. Trust me, you don't want it. It is worthless. it is someone's backyard. It's mostly fenced in to 1908 Maple. It's a yard. It's not buildable. All you would get if you bought it is a tax bill. So no, you don't want it. It's worthless. Well, anyway, so I got this letter. Saying I had court today, and I had no idea what it was in reference to. So finally, they call me up, and they call my name, and I go up there, and they can't find my file anywhere. The city attorney was there. He sat back down. They can't find my file. And so finally, the judge says, "What's this in reference to?" And I'm like, "I actually have no idea. I got this letter, and I never got served any papers, and I never got a complaint. Normally, when they file a lawsuit against you, you get a complaint saying what the lawsuit is. Never had a complaint, never had anything." And so I told the judge, I said, "I have no idea what it's about." Then finally, the city attorney comes back and he says, "Can I see your letter?" And he says, "Oh, I thought Scott was your last name. It's Jelinek. Let me look again." So he finds it. Then he goes up to the podium and he starts yapping that, blah, blah, blah. This house went up for auction, and somebody, and he said the name, some investor bid $1,500, and this whole, and the whole thing that they wanted basically to transfer the deed. This court date, what the purpose of it was if I had an objection to the transfer. And so then they told me that. So then he finished reading his whole thing he had to read. And then the judge says, "Do you have any objection to this?" And I was like, "Objection? No, I'm thrilled." I said, "I have been trying to give this property to the city for 15 years now. Thank you very much. No objection. We're good to go." And he says, "Thank you. You may leave." And I must have danced out of that courtroom, because let me tell you, when I say a headache for 15 years, I mean a headache. Now you think, what burden is it of mine? It's the burden is people calling me, because it's in my name and it's public. So people will call me and they say, "Hey, Scott, I see you have a tax sale in your name." And so I constantly had to go over explaining this to people and what had happened. And so today it is finally over. And so I'm thrilled that it's finally over. And I am looking forward to that thing not being in my name any further. Whoever bought it, they're going to be dealing with the burden now. They're going to be getting it's a worthless property. They paid $1,500, but all they really bought was a tax bill, because they can't do anything with that property. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I was thrilled when I walked out of that courtroom, and the first thing I was thinking is I need to do a video right now and tell everybody about this, because I know several people, even in this group, have emailed me, text me, and said, "Oh, I saw your name in the paper," and so I just wanted to let everybody know that it is finally closed out after all these years. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and we will see you on the next video. Have a great day.